Hey, I'm Kristen, and I'm back again to share with you my February flip through of my Fauxbonichi slash bullet journal. Lately, I've been calling it my Phobo. What is it again? Bujo. Phobo Bujo. Yes, I still got to get used to that. All right, so I usually do 2 months at a time in a composition book. This one is January and February of 2025. And I already did share with you the January flip through. Sorry, there's a place that's showing through. Looks out of the way. And this is, there we go. Gotta get a cleaner surface. I still have my mouse over here, but that's just going to be on the side. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you my layouts for the month of February and a few of the books that I've been purchasing and reading this month that I thought might interest you. Why is this table so squeaky? It's just like every time I touch it, it squeaks. I apologize for the squeaky table. So anyway, I usually pick a color theme for each month, and of course February I wanted pink and red. For Valentine's Day, so I got a set of washi tapes that I've been using, and got out my brush tip markers and found all the pink ones and red ones, and a few purple things here and there too. So I begin the month with laying out a month spread and with what my schedule is for that month. And then the next page is a vision page. And I used to try to do pictures of all these different things and like make something on Canva, and I just haven't had the time to do it. So now I just make a list of words that make me think of that month. What that month makes me think of, I guess, is a better way of putting it. And then this time I found a little bingo software site where you put in the words and it makes a bingo board for you, whether you want to have rows of 4 or rows of 5. So I just thought of what are some things that I would like to do in February that are kind of more self-care, fun for me. So I put those on here, and then I colored in the ones that I was able to get done. Some I only got halfway done, like the sewing project, I only got it cut out. So, which is really the hardest part. So that is on its way. And I didn't actually buy roses. I bought the tulips because I actually thought they were prettier and they were less expensive. So anyway, gave myself half credit for that. And then I have a pocket over here with some doodle ideas that I printed up that I found on Pinterest. And I thought I might use these for making designs in my journal. I ended up going a different direction, but it's still a fun idea, and I might use that in the future. And then the next page is my page of goals for the month. And these used to be all random, but this month I tried to organize them, and I put categories at the top of each column and then the boxes hanging from underneath them. And as I finished the items, I would color them in. And it's like, oh, I probably should have colored the art category because I did everything in that one. And there's probably some things I could color more. I'll have to look through it again and see if I can give myself credit for any of the other goals. And then at the bottom, I had just put in some words that I had cut out from a magazine that I thought were inspirational to me. I do like this banner. That's something I've carried over from month to month, and I think makes this page kind of fun for me anyway. And then I've started, like last month, I think I did my ideal week, which is hard to do because my work days are so different than my weekends. So this time I did my ideal work day over here, and then my ideal Saturday and my ideal Sunday, because those 2 days are usually very different too. But Sunday is, church and all that, small group in the evening. So I've got more routines on Sunday. I don't know if routine's probably not the right word, but things that happen on a weekly basis. I did it in pencil, thinking that I could go back and change it, and then my intention was to put it in ink later on, but I never got around to converting it to ink, so it is still in pencil, and I don't think I really came back and changed that much. So anyway, then I have 2 pages for each day in here, and I usually lay those out in advance and draw in the lines of the different sections. The first column is usually my schedule for the day, and then the second column I've been putting my to-do list in, and then I reserve a box for my daily doodle and my venue, and then the rest is usually whatever comes up. Well, this part I try to put in the weather forecast up here, and this little box is for how much I slept last night and how many times I got up in the middle of the night. So in the Doodle-a-Day, instead of using the hearts like I had planned to, those kind of doodles, I decided that I would really like to learn how to draw more flowers. So let me show you the book I was using. So I have this cute little book, and I had one, I think my parents had one when I was growing up that I just loved, or maybe it's one when I was homeschooling my kids. I don't know. But it lost track of it, so I decided to look to get one on Thrift Books so I could have it again. And I just love the drawings in here. There's something about them very nostalgic for me. So I've been going through and drawing. Some of these I started drawing last month, I think. Anyway, so I've been picking out a flower each day to color or try to draw in here. Wild pinks, where is it? This page here. Here's the wild pinks page. So that I just, don't do the whole page, but I just pick out a few of the flowers to try to draw in there. And I colored these with some colored pencil. And I do like to put some photos in here. I used to try to reserve a place for photos, but I was using like little tiny 3-inch photos, and you really can't see them that well. So I decided I'm going to make my photos the size I want them to be, and then just tape them in as a tip end there. Okay. And this is my service schedule for church because I'm on the worship team. And so I thought, well, this is kind of a good way to remember what songs we did that week. So I put that in here. I did a morning glory this day. Oh, and this is a picture of, what do I want to call it? My Bible journal that I've been doing. I started leading a small group, and we're going through the book of Mark. It's just a ladies' small group that meets in my house. And let me show you the journal we're doing. So this company makes journals for all the different books in the Bible, I believe. It might combine some of the smaller ones. But so our church is going through the book of Mark in the sermon messages. So in my group, we all got one of these, and we've been going through, and this is really cool. Sorry, I'm not that great at talking, but I'm doing my best. So this journal has the scripture on the left side, but blank pages on the right side. Well, there's faint lines on here. I don't know if you can see the lines or not. But so anyway, as we're going through the book of Mark, we've got a reading plan that we follow, and we try to find something on each page that we can illustrate. And so I've been doing that. And I would love to show you the whole thing, but I think I'm going to wait until I'm all done. we're on like Mark chapter 12 and it goes up to 16. So when we're all done, I will make a video of it and share it with you. So so if you subscribe, you'll get a notification about that when that happens. So onward with February. Oh, at the end of each week, I've been putting in a couple pages for reflection, like how did the week go? So on the left side, I put in the blessings or things that went well that week. And then on the right side, I've been putting things that didn't go well or things I want to improve. And I had put in a picture from the magazine before I decided what to do with this page, so just kind of working around that. Here's another picture I put in before I laid out my page, and it worked out okay because I didn't have that much going on Saturday and Sunday, but normally I don't put a picture on my week spread because I need the room to write. So this is the next week, and on to similar page spread out. And I've been ordering more books from thrift books lately, and right now I'm a gardener. But I'm a gardener, and right now it's in January and February, I'm thinking a lot about how to plan my garden, what I want to grow this year. And I'd really like to grow more herbs. So I found this book called Herb Garden Month by Month on Thrift Books. It's like, oh, that sounds perfect for me. So I got it. Let me show you. So it's actually quite a bit bigger than the picture. But it takes you month by month through all the different seasons through the year. And it has projects, it's got garden designs, it's got checklists, suggestions of themes to have in your garden, plants of the month that you can learn about, and what can you do in this month. In January, it's mostly planning or ordering seeds and things like that. Same thing with February. But I'm really enjoying going through this, even though this was written in England and their climate is a little bit different than ours. I'm in New York, and some of their plants might be different. It's just really fun to get some ideas for each month what to do in my garden. There. Okay. Oh, I didn't take a picture of this one, but maybe that's because that's the day I ordered it. I might have a picture later on, or I should add one in. But while I was on there, I saw this, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And I remember seeing this book quite a few years ago and just falling in love with it. It's like, oh, I would love to have that. It was so inspiring. So when I found it on Thrift Books, it's like, I need to get that. And it smells a little musty, so I might sneeze, but this is a replica of a diary from 1906, a nature diary. And this woman, Edith Holden, lived in England, and she was an artist, and she made this diary taking you through the year of all of the flora and fauna that was in her area. And she filled it with poetry and quotes and these beautiful paintings and like a log of when she went out to look at nature, what days she went and what she saw. And I just love going through this and reading, what was it like back then. I'm sure a lot of things are the same now because it's nature. But what did she observe, and how did she describe it? And just the poetry. I don't know. I just love this book. So I am very inspired. Some people get a copy of this book and then they cut it all up and they use it for junk journals. It's like, no, this is so precious the way it is. And so I just want to keep looking at this, and I want to make my own nature journal. And I did buy a sketchbook to get started. Went outside and found a few things in February that I attempted to draw, and when I get further on that, I will share that as well. So back to this. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you that this reminded me of, the student compositions. I'm a piano teacher, and we did a composing unit, and I had those students write some music, and then I was able to get a coil binder, and I printed out. We did we used Note Flight to write out the music, and I printed it out and put it in here, and they made some illustrations for it. They're songs, from first grade on up to high school. There's all different levels. I had 17 students that participated in this, and it was really fun. So I just wanted to share that not only did I buy some books, I made some books too this month. Okay, moving on. Kind of going slowly here. I will try to speed up a little bit. Some more drawings. I don't always color my drawings. Sometimes I just like to leave them black and white. Oh, here's another book I bought, this New England Gardening Almanac. Let me go get that to show you too. So this is another book I got at Thrift Books, and this one's closer to home because it's New England. I live in New York, like I said, so that's not too far. So I think a lot of these things would apply to me. But I love how this one it goes into even more detail. It's not just month by month, but it's week by week. Here's week 4, or week 3. Are we in January here? What month is this? Oh, wait. Oh, January's back here. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot. This starts in March. It's like March is the beginning of the real gardening season. So it started in March, and then January and February are actually at the back of the book. So I had to go to the back of the book and read this first, and then now it's March actually. So now I can read the next chapter. So I'm glad I got this out because it is time to read the next chapter in there. Fun, fun, fun. All right. So let's continue on. Oh, this is I want to make a potager garden. I don't know if you've heard of a potager garden. I had not heard of one before, but when I heard about it, it's like, yes, that is what I want to do, because it's a combination of an herb garden, vegetable garden, fruit, and ornamentals. Your flowers, your cut flowers, and it's made in a ornamental layout, so it looks pretty, and I love to have things that look pretty. And I want to do this in my front yard. And of course, in your front yard, you want it to look nice. And especially since I'm a piano teacher, I've got people coming to my house almost every day of the week. So I want it to look nice for them too. So this was a design that I liked and that I might do, but we'll see. Some more flowers. Oh, I love how this will turn out there. And after a while, I got tired of writing out all of the weather data every day. So sometimes I just draw a picture of the weather. It was sunny, partly cloudy that day. And I'm not going to go into that there, but anyway. And some days I don't bother to write out my schedule. This was a Saturday, and I was just resting and recovering from when I fell. I landed on my knee. It was snowy and icy, and it was my dog's fault actually. But so anyway, if I don't put in my schedule, that's fine. I can just have more room to doodle. Oh, and this is another book I made, and I want to show you. I don't know if I call it a book or a notebook, but I made a planting schedule on an Excel sheet, well, Google Sheets actually, spreadsheet anyway, about what seeds I wanted to plant each month. And it's divided by color. I've got these are my white flowers, red flowers, orange flowers. I like to grow cut flowers and sell them at the end of my driveway. I've got a little roadside stand, so this is kind of a little side business for me in the summertime, which is great because piano lessons I don't have as many to teach, so I've got more time for gardening. But anyway, certain seeds need to be planted at certain times in order to be ready to go out at certain times. The cold, hardy ones you can plant out sooner than the warm ones. So anyway, I made up a whole schedule and I put it in a binder or a spiral. And this is so much easier to manage than something that's stapled together or put in a 3-ring notebook. So I love this spiral machine I got. I'll have to show it to you sometime. Next time I make a book, I will demonstrate, make a little video of it. So anyway, another book I made this month. So let's keep moving on. Got more daily doodles. Simplifying the weather. This is a plant arrangement that I made, which unfortunately now is not looking as good, but c'est la vie. Okay, and at the end of this week, I should talk about this too. So if we go back here, I found like I was writing the same things over and over again on my to-do list here. So I decided to write them here on this flap thing. And this is just one of those cutting boards you get at the Dollar Tree, and it's a thin piece of plastic, and I cut it in half and rounded the edges and just taped it to the edge of my notebook, and that way I can flap it in and out. So instead of writing the same things over and over again, transferring them to the next page, because I didn't get them done, I put them on sticky notes here, or if it was more of a routine thing that I did every week, I put it on here. Things I do on Monday or Tuesday, or intended to do anyway. So I found that useful for a while. I'm just going to tuck that in the back here. We were here. So this week I just wanted to do something a little different with the reflection. I usually just make a list. I'll go back to this one. So this was my former way of doing it, just make a list of my blessings or things I want to improve. This time I made squares. So I drew all the squares, rectangles first, and then I put the different things in those. And sometimes instead of writing out a sentence, I would just make a little drawing or just a title. So I found it to be a more fun, artistic way of writing it. So that was fun for me and something I will probably continue. Put that there. So I've got the layout for the next week. Oh, and I started adding these little ladybugs. I just figured out how, I drew a whole bunch of ladybugs. For some reason, I wanted to figure out what is the cutest way for me to draw a ladybug. So I finally settled on this format. And since it's Valentine's and I have a lot of pink here, I decided to make them pink. So you'll see those popping up more often now. Did I start doing them that week? No, I think this is when I started. So you can see we've got a ladybug here and ladybug here, and this page is more red, so I made them more reddish. And I like doing the washi tape and stickers. Oh, and this week, sometimes I don't always do this, but I like to just have the numbers, the times, one time on the side for Monday, and then the other days I trim them off so I don't have to write the numbers over and over again. And it kind of makes like a nice little section of this week. And then at the end of the week, I go back to a wide page. So it's like, anyway. Oh, I was trying to learn how to draw chicks. Not as successful, I think, as the ladybug, so I didn't really continue those. Highlights and lowlights. Yeah. All right. Oh, and here's some Valentine cards that I made. I like to do collage, so this year I decided to make some heart-shaped collages to send to my family members. Here's my dog Molly wearing her Valentine kerchief. Oh, and I had a concert this week. I'm the accompanist, one of the accompanists, and so I like to put my programs in here just to save them. It's a little memory. Okay. Oh, this is the Valentine I got from my dad. Every year he writes some poetry or does this type of thing. I forget, acrostic, and he makes copies and sends them out to all of his children and grandchildren. And it's a nice tradition. Oh, and this is my sock drawer. I don't know. When I'm putting away socks, I just love having happy socks. I don't know if you can see the picture very well. Here we go. But it's all, what do you call it? Scandinavian type style socks. So I really like that kind. And most of them are wool. And so they feel good on my feet. They keep them warm. My feet don't sweat as much when I'm wearing wool socks. So that's what I like. Oh, okay. Oh, this is my menu plan. So I just added that in there. Oh, and this is from my cooking day. I've been trying to have a massive cooking day. I don't know if massive is the right word. Big cooking day, one day a week. When it was massive, when I tried to do 2 weeks worth, it was too much. So 1 week's worth is enough. And I got these containers, these like not pints, quart size freezer containers or soup containers, takeout. I don't know. And they came in different sizes too. There's some short ones, some medium ones, some tall ones. And once I figured out what's all the food that I need to cut or shred or chop or mince, I would get that all ready ahead of time, put them in these containers, and then putting together the recipes went so much faster that day. So it looks like we had some winter weather that day. So good day to stay inside to do cooking. Okay. Oh, and I started some paperweights indoors. I ordered some bulbs online, and they are now growing on my windowsill. So I just put the directions in here as a little memory. Oh, and then we come to Tasha Tudor. I've got to let's put her on top like that. So I want to show you that book and another book. So for some reason, maybe it's because I'm more into art right now, I've been very interested in Tasha Tudor. She's a wonderful children's book illustrator. I'm sure she's illustrated many other things as well. She's illustrated over 100 books. She does these wonderful drawings and paintings. This doesn't have as much of her artwork. Oh, there's an example right there. There's a little bit of a glare here. And I love how she does these beautiful borders with these flowers. So I've gotten several of her children's books just so I can try drawing her designs. And here's a picture of her at work right there. And the lifestyle she has chosen to live is from the 1800s. She lives in a very old-fashioned way, a very simple way, and has a farm, raises her own goats and pigs and chickens and ducks and geese, and does makes a lot of things herself. Cooks over the open fire in a fireplace, and she's also an avid gardener, and so I'm still working my way through these books, but I just love learning about how she gardens and about her house, of her whole lifestyle. She's just so inspirational to me. And I even ordered some of the seeds that her family has continued to grow. She's passed away now, but her family continues to grow her flowers and they sell her seeds. So I was like, and I got some of them. So I'll have to show those to you in another video. But let's keep moving on. Oh, here's the list of the seeds that I ordered that day. Okay, and here's my reflection for that week. And again, I used the grid pattern to write my highlights and lowlights. I decided I really like those terms, highlights and lowlights. They're simple and they're clear. And I had a break from school in February, and I also took a break from piano lessons other than doing some makeups. And so I made a new goal list just for things I wanted to try to get done that week since I had more time. So that was helpful for me. And so as you can see, this week is not as full because of that, not having to do school or piano lessons. And this is a thank you note I got in the mail. Actually, her birthday's coming up. I need to save that address. So that's another reason to take these in my journal, is I can go back and find them again. And I like saving the envelope too, just so I have their address, and I like stamps too. So I diverted a little bit from my flower theme for drawing just because I was so inspired by the beautiful day it was outside. We had like 6 inches of snow and everything looked so frosted. And then the sun came out, so it was gorgeous. So anyway, so kind of tweaking my format a little bit here. Again, I was using the times on the outside. This is cut a little bit narrower than the previous week. This week was wider. This one's a little narrower, probably because I just forgot to plan ahead correctly. But I decided as my day went along, on this particular day anyway, that I would color in things that I got done. I think this one I might have written this in like after I did it. So it's like, this is what happened during that time. So it's more like of a log than a schedule, which was fun to do. And I like how the colors go with the washi tape. And did the same thing here with coloring in. And my task list, I would like to color in the numbers as I finish them. And I really like putting numbers in my task list, and just something about it helps me to get them done. Okay, go do number 1. When number 1 is done, go do number 2. But I don't usually write them in the order that I actually end up wanting to do them. Okay, there's some movies that I watched this week. I do like recording what movies I do see. Probably should keep like a list in my yearbook. Some more similar format. Continuing with the daily doodles. It was a busy week. Got lots of stuff done. On Saturday I went to the Dutch Connection. Why do I not have a picture in here? I need a picture to go with this. I've got to put that on my list of things to do. Alright, print picture of Dutch Connection. That's the name of the display they had at the Eastman Center of all of these tulips and daffodils and hyacinths, all these bulbs from Holland that they have brought in, which is something George Eastman did every year, so they continued that. And I should put a picture of this too. This is my to-do list now. Just wanted to show you. This is my to-do list now. I put it on I take a 3x5 card, cut it up into 4 pieces, write the thing I want to do, and I put it in here. That's what I'm doing right now. I know I still try to get the routines done. I don't put routine stuff in there, but random stuff that I want to do someday, I'll put in the job jar. Oh, and I wanted to show you a couple of books. I should put pictures of the books in here too. Sorry, I gotta add this. Make another. I'm just gonna rip it this time. All right. Pictures. These are old books. And I'm gonna say for February. I know put the date on here, so I know what page to put it on. But let me go get those. This whole month has been like all about books for me. So let me go get those to show you. Okay. So this I think was a very interesting find because I've been watching videos about like historical documentary videos about how farmers in particular lived their lives through the different ages, medieval age, Victorian age, Edwardian age. There's a whole series on BBC about how these farmers lived. Anyway, when I saw this book at the library used book sale, it caught my eye. Housekeeping in Old Virginia. So this would be more about what it was like to live in America. This is a cookbook from, I don't know if you can see it, from 1879. This is actually a reprint. It's not that, this particular book is not that old, but it's a reprint of it. I think a reprint of the original. Yeah, but it doesn't say what date. I can't seem to find what date the reprint was made. But anyway, it's at first I thought, it's about like housekeeping, like about cleaning and things like that. But it's primarily a cookbook. But it's been really fun to read, like how they made bread. I mean, they didn't have electricity back then, and like how they had all these methods of preserving food, and the flour for the bread, they had to sift it all, and they put it out in the sun to air it out, and they just had all of these methods that are not common to us. We just go to the grocery store, and so it's just been real interesting to read about this, and maybe I might try some of these recipes someday. So that's been fun. And then this book caught my eye, and I thought, what is that? And when something says scrapbook, it makes me think of like a memory album with pictures in it. But this is all text, and what it is, it's basically a commonplace book. If you've ever heard of that, it's like a collection of quotes and poetry and inspirational. What's the word I am looking for? Selections, I guess, containing the inspired and inspiring selections gathered during a lifetime of discriminating reading by Elbert Hubbard. So Elbert Hubbard collected all of these things and wrote them in. I don't know if he cut them out and probably pasted them into a scrapbook, and then the publishers decided to put them all, print them all up in this format. So it's been really interesting. What date is this from? Well, that date is from 1928, so that's like almost 100 years ago. Copyright 1923 by the Roycrofters. And the Roycroft, what do you call it? Movement? craft movement. And this is near where it's from New York. So, Aurora. Printed and made into a book by the Roycrofters at their shops in East Aurora, Erie County, New York State. So that's not too far from where I live. So I want to show this to my dad because he's really interested in New York State history. But just reading through it makes good bedtime reading, because they're like short excerpts, and it's expanding my vocabulary because a lot of these words, might have been common back in those days, but are not so common now, and I'm having to look things up. And when I find something that really inspires me, I've been copying it and writing it down and starting my own little scrapbook, or I like to call it a commonplace book. But anyway, I thought that was a really neat find. I think it was only like $4 or something like that. And the same with this one. So you never know what you'll find at the library used book sale. So moving on through the end of the week. So I did the grid thing again for my reflection and a few ladybugs. And this time for my goals, I wanted to do something different. I don't know why I did this. It really wasn't that helpful to me. Oh, this was for, this is for the week. So I guess I wanted to write down my goals for the week. But it's a little too crazy for me. And here's my week layout. And then some more days. Kind of like how that's a Joe Pye read. Okay, we're getting towards the end of February. Too many tasks. Her seeds came on that day, and they included this cute little card. So I put that in here. Oh, fire cider. Have you ever heard of fire cider? So my nutritionist recommended this to me, and you put all sorts of ingredients, healthy ingredients in a jar, things like lemon, orange, lime, ginger, horseradish, jalapeno, rosemary, thyme. There's a whole list. I'm probably forgetting some things because this is off the top of my head. And then you pour cider vinegar over it and you let it ferment for a month. You shake it every day. So that's why I made this little card to remind me and to color in a circle for each day that I shook the jar. And then at the end of the month, I drained it off. And then I take like a tablespoon a day, or sometimes more often if I'm feeling like something's coming on. And it helps to strengthen your immune system and prevent you from getting sick, hopefully, or at least help you get over things more quickly. So that was a fun thing to do. All right. And I think, so this week, it's a little weird, I think, when a month ends in the middle of a week. I wish all the months ended on Sunday, because that's when I set up my next week. So I have a couple days of March that are still in the February colors. And March is in the next notebook. So I'm just pretending these days are still in February. And then my week reflection, for some reason, I felt like going back to just my list again. So I did that. And then I have a reflection for the whole month. What were the highlights of the whole month? So I put those on here. And then I was starting to think about, what do I want to do in March? What do I want to do in March? So I kind of added to this list during the month. Sorry about the squeaky table. Goodness, I hope that doesn't come out. So anyway, here we are at the end of the book. This is where I put my leftover scraps of washi tape. Maybe if I tighten the screws. of this table, then it won't squeak so much. It's driving me crazy. All right, so anyway, this is just a reminder of how to set up each week. And then I have a pocket back here. Oh, and I put some ideas here of what I wanted to do in March. And I totally forgot about the stickers in here. I need to move those to my March one. Look at these cute stickers. I gotta use those. These are some January things. And there's some snowflake stickers. I'm gonna totally forget about them if I leave them in here. And I should move this to March also because I need to refer to that. All right. Well, that's it for February. Thanks for your patience. I know this was a little bit longer than usual, but I had all these cool books I wanted to show you that I had either found or I had made. So thanks for listening. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.